Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source of Second Amendment news. Some major Second Amendment news came down today. Even though SHOT Show is going on, you might not have heard of this. The gun owners of America have had a little bit of a victory in a case that they're pushing in New York. I'm going to read you a couple things right from them, and I'm also going to tell you what this could possibly do. So this case is directly challenging New York City's basic prohibition about possessing firearms. You can have them in your home or your apartment. You can have them in your place of business, maybe. But unless you're like a government agent, a celebrity, somebody really cool and special, you can't carry your gun. Just like the Second Amendment doesn't exist in the Bloomberg bubble. So Eric Pratt, the executive director of GOA, said this today. For far too long, judges have ignored the Second Amendment, along with the Heller and McDonald decisions, instead employing a balancing test that effectively leaves gun owners in anti-gun states with second-class right to keep and bear arms. So what he's saying is, for those of us who don't live in a free state, it's often up to the judges on what us poor citizens get to do. Now, GOA filed a brief in this case, which led to it getting a writ of certiorari from the Supreme Court today, which means they're going to hear the case. They're at least going to review it. Could be really good for us. And their brief that they filed, and I'll have a link to the brief in the description, it's 31 pages. It's not that tough of a read, but it specifically challenges this balancing approach by judges in lower courts. And it goes on to state that the Heller and McDonald cases leave no doubt that courts are to assess gun bans and regulations based on the text of the Second Amendment, the history and tradition, not this balancing test. GOA also says that the brief before the Supreme Court cuts to the heart of this problem by arguing that judges have to follow the Constitution, imagine that, and the text of the Second Amendment, imagine that, rather than imposing their own preconceived views upon the text. A lot of those judges, they're in the politicians' pocket. They do the bidding of them. So what does this brief look to do? It goes into the Heller decision, how it rejects judicial interest balancing, goes into the McDonald decision and how that rejects the judicial interest balancing, and also it's looking to charge that the U.S. Supreme Court should not allow lower courts to treat the Second Amendment as a second-class right. Also, whether the New York City ban unconstitutionally abridges plaintiffs' right to travel is a question of great importance that should be decided by this court. And that's true. And, I'm sorry that I want to read this, but this is the summary of the argument. It'll be real quick. That way you don't have to read it yourself. New York City's understanding of Second Amendment rights is radically different from that recognized in Heller. The right to keep and bear arms is limited to certain Americans who meet eligibility requirements, submit to invasive government screening, wait a lengthy period of time, pay a substantial fee. Even then, the few who qualify might not bear arms as Heller envisioned. Rather, they may only keep them at their home or perhaps a place of business. A true bearing of arms within the city is limited to government agents, along with a select few politicians, celebrities, or the very wealthy. For those without wealth, influence, or connections, the only bearing of arms that they may do, even with a permit or license, is directly between their home and their business and a few other authorized government locations. And even then, those guns have to be unloaded and locked up, just a paperweight in a box. So excellent that this supposedly gun-friendly Supreme Court is going to hear a case on the Second Amendment for the first time since 2008. We shall see. I'll get the information from Gun Owners of America just as fast as they get it. So stay tuned here if you want to know. Please pass this along, because if this works out in our favor, will affect every single state or city or county gun ban. All of them. Like I said, stay tuned. Please pass this along. Sorry about the lighting in here. It sucks. But this is my room, and I'm still trying to get the news out when I get a moment. Until we see each other again, this is Jared from Guns and Gadgets. Thank you all. If you want to see my SHOT Show footage, please subscribe if you haven't already to my Instagram and my Twitter. It's just easier to put them out there at a rapid pace because SHOT Show is mind-bogglingly huge. The pace is hectic, and to get that stuff out, I got to do it just as fast as I film it, pretty much, instead of waiting until the end of SHOT Show and compiling hours and hours and hours of footage for YouTube. So please check it out there, and until we see each other again, this is Jared from Las Vegas, SHOT Show. Be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.